Good evening, and on behalf of the Co-op and Career Services staff, welcome to Co-op 101. An official welcome to all first-year undergraduate admitted students to the Co-op program. And we're going to get tonight's event started with a video. So let's get started. What is Co-op?
Network with professionals.
Knowledge.
Gain real-world skills before graduation.
Opportunity.
Hands-on.
Getting the right experience.
A time of discovery.
Advantage.
Make connections with industry leaders. Co-op is the start of your career.
Okay, so that was a little bit of an introduction to Co-op, and I'll start off by saying that I am Pia Chin, the Marketing and Communications Officer for Co-op and Career Services, and I'm happy to be your MC for this evening. The 9 words that you just heard are those that current and past Co-op students have used to describe the Carleton Co-op program. It is our hope that through the Co-op program, you will have the opportunity to network with industry leaders, gain hands-on experience, and graduate with the real-world working skills that you came looking for. By choosing the Co-op program, I know you are well on your way. So let's get started with your Co-op journey. Over the course of this 1-hour information session, we will tell you what the next steps are, give you the opportunity to find out what Co-op is really like from a current Co-op student perspective, share with you what you can do to succeed in Co-op, and finally hear from a Carleton Co-op employer about the value of Co-op students in today's workplace. So, without further ado, we're going to move on to our first speaker. Now that you've been admitted to the Co-op program at Carleton, it's important to know what you need to do next. Feel free to take notes with your laptops that I see out, your tablets, your phones, or my personal favorite, the old pen and paper. Here to share these next important steps is Cheryl Cohen, Employer Services Assistant Extraordinaire. Cheryl.
Welcome everyone, and thanks for coming. You are entering a very exciting time in your life as you start your degree and start working towards your future career. The most important thing for you to remember right now is to work hard and concentrate on your grades. In order for you to continue in the Co-op program, there are certain continuation requirements that you have to achieve. You have to maintain a certain CGPA, and depending on your degree program, there are also specific prerequisite course requirements that you have to take. All the information is in the official online university calendar, which you can access from the Carleton website. So please make sure that you know the specific requirements for your degree. The work study patterns for each program are also there. Co-op students alternate study terms with work terms, enabling you to take what you learn in the classroom to the workplace and what you learn in the world of work back to school. This really shows you how each one benefits the other and why Co-op is a great way to enhance your education. The program administrator will be reviewing your grades when you are eligible to begin Co-op. So you don't need to worry about what the next steps are because we will be contacting you. Your job is to check your email often. We will send all the Co-op related information to your Carleton email. We also have a website and a Facebook page, which you can check often as well. Now the next thing, Co-op 1000 is a prep course that you are required to take before beginning your first work term. It helps you with things like resume writing, interview skills, networking, and you will receive information about this by, you guessed it, your Carleton email. So please read the email carefully so you are aware of what you are required to do. There are also fees associated with Co-op. This information is on the website, and you'll also get emails explaining the fee process. Most of the Co-op programs have their first work term summer after your second year. We will look at your grades after first year, make sure you have all the prerequisites for your program, and that you are ready to take Co-op 1000 in the fall of your second year. But there are different work-study patterns for each program and different co-op starting points. So again, make sure you check the information on the website and you know the requirements for your program. The co-op office is located in the Technology and Training Center, CTTC, on the bottom floor in room 1400. We're open Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4:30, so please come and see us if you have questions. We are happy to help, and we want you to get that dream job that you've always wanted. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. So I hope you're all clear on what you have to do next. Our next speaker is a co-op student, but she comes to you in the form of a video, and so we'll play that for you right now. And just to introduce the video to you, Samantha entered last year's co-op YouTube contest, and she had to tell us what was so cool about her summer 2011 co-op work term.
Hi, my name's Samantha Monroe. I am entering my third year of studying marketing at Carleton University, and I am currently taking part in the co-op program. I am the summer youth intern for the Economic Development, Recreation and Tourism Department of the prettiest little city in Canada, the city of Pembroke. My supervisor, Susan Ellis, is the manager of this department, and our offices are located here at the Pembroke Memorial Center. This is where I complete most of my daily tasks, such as replying to emails, creating personalized documents and brochures, and updating the city website with fun and exciting activities for the public. As youth intern, I'm considered an ambassador for the city. This means experiencing firsthand what Pembroke and the area has to offer so that I can help promote recreation and tourism. This includes whitewater rafting and ziplining as a day at the office. My job is to aid in the development of various programs to enhance community participation within the city of Pembroke, and also to help plan and execute a variety of special events that happen throughout the summer. These special events include the Canada Day celebrations, Communities in Bloom, and the annual Waterfront Festival. This festival is the city's biggest event that happens throughout the summer, and planning starts months in advance. I got to show my creative side when designing posters, ticket booths, and performer passes for the event. This event is 3 days in length, and this year featured hit Canadian artists such as Matt Anderson, Ashley McIsaac, and the Sam Roberts Band. Not only did I get to help out with everything that goes on behind the scenes, I also got to work backstage and meet the performers. My summer was filled with many new experiences, working with great colleagues, meeting new people, and obtaining knowledge that will be helpful for my future career in business. And that's why my co-op is the coolest. Now I'm going to rock out to Sam Roberts.
Now, I can't guarantee that all of you will get to rock out with Sam Roberts on your co-op work term or get to say that you get to zip line every day as part of your day in the office, but that is just some of the cool things that some of our co-op students have done, and we're very thankful for them to share that with us in the form of a video. And we certainly didn't let Samantha's efforts go to waste. She did win an iPad too for that video entry, so maybe if you put a video together in future, maybe an iPad, whatever, by that time might be your gift. So we've heard from Samantha. We do have a live human co-op student here tonight, and I'm going to invite him and one of my colleagues up to the stage, and I'm going to introduce them and ask them to come on up to the stage right now. As they do that, I'll just give you a little bit of a background as to who they are. They're wearing somewhat similar outfits tonight. And Alain, give everybody a wave, because you are young looking, you could look like a student. Alain works with the co-op students from the Bachelor of Computer Science, the Bachelor of Mathematics, as well as the Bachelor of Information Technology. So for those of you who are in those programs, take note of your new friend. Alain will interview Stephen Wu, a Bachelor of Mathematics major, which I find very intimidating because I'm not that good at math. But even though you might not be a math major, I know Stephen will be sharing information that all future co-op students can learn from. After this interview, Alain will then share the secrets to your co-op success. So without further ado, please welcome Alain and Stephen to the stage.
Thanks, Pia. All right, Stephen, so to start us off, can you share with us where you did your past work term?
Yeah, sure. So the first term that I completed was at a company called 360PI, formerly called Gazero. And what they do is they provide real-time pricing analysis for large-scale retailers that are looking to get back their customers that are technology savvy these days, that are saving a little too much.
Okay. So what was your role in this organization, and what is the culture like?
So my role was as a quality assurance analyst. And so I got to apply a lot of statistics that I learned in the classroom to what they were trying to do, using random sampling and all that, mainly for error checking, verifying bug fixes, bug detection. And as far as the work environment, it was a startup company, so the staff topped around 20 people. So it was really relaxed, really friendly, fast-paced, everything I could ask for.
Perfect. Now, some students are able to find a job when they're applying for work almost immediately, while others, it may take them some time, quite a number of applications. What was your experience?
Through my career in the Carleton Co-op program, I applied to 30 unique jobs. And if I count everything through off the other resources, I applied to approximately 50 jobs.
So would you say then that's the norm, is applying to a few jobs to get what you want?
I would say it's probably not. I would hope that you don't have to apply to that many. But yeah, one of the many things I learned is to not give up. So.
Okay. So what is your job strategy then when you are getting ready to send those applications out?
I think a common strategy is that you want to get as many applications out, you want to get as many interviews as possible. But I think me personally, what I was aiming to do was I was looking at job descriptions where it would not only benefit me, but I could benefit them. Like I wanted to make sure that if I got into the interview position, that I would be able to impress them instead of just be there.
So would you say then when you are looking for a job in my career, are you looking for that dream job, or what? How does that work?
I would say, especially when you're looking for your first work term, you can't aim for a dream job. I think any job that you get in your first work term is a dream job. Me personally, I know a lot of people, friends in the program that didn't get to secure a job in their first available placement. So I think you really have to. You can't really pick favorites at that point.
So there's this term when it comes to job seeking that's pretty scary to most people. It's called networking. So that environment where you're thrust out into the world, you don't know a soul, and you've got to make some friends. What do you think about that? Have you used that?
Well, when I was first told about it, I thought it was really cliche, like, oh, ask your neighbor's friend if they know someone who could help you out. But in the end, it really did end up securing my job. So I think networking is not something you should do when you're looking for a job. It's something that you should do all the time. So you should always be making the best first impression you can to anybody, because you don't know, if that person could help you out in your career. Yeah.
So one last piece about Net Night. Stephen actually has a really interesting story. He went to Net Night, which is a networking event for students to meet employers that are our partners. Met the folks at Gazero, but it didn't just happen on the spot. What did you do from there?
So what actually happened was Gazero won Co-op Employer of the Year, and my approach at Net Night was not only to network with companies that obviously were interesting to me, but to network with companies that were still reviewing my application so that I could get firsthand and personal one-on-one feedback on what they're looking for in a successful candidate. So after the CEO of Gazero finished his speech, I approached him, and he was kind enough to actually offer to personally review my resume with me. And we kept talking, and when he called to congratulate me at the end of hiring me, he said my quiet persistence was the reason why he hired me, actually.
So it works.
Yeah, definitely works.
Okay, so, I mean, you've got your first work term under your belt, you got some great experience, you know what networking is about. What 3 pieces of advice would you share with the students in the room?
So like I said, number one, most of all, I would say don't give up. Like I said, I came from a startup, so I was in that environment with my bosses. They were looking for developers, actually. And one of the big problems with small companies is they need to figure out if they should scale back work or if they should, take on that expense, because it's a risk every time they're hiring somebody. If it doesn't work out, it's a big lost cost. Similarly, with big organizations, they have to pass your application through many departments, so it's going to take you a long time. So I would say don't get ahead of yourself if you think you got an interview wrapped up, like if you think you have the job locked up, and don't give up if you think all the good jobs are gone, because you never know. Not all jobs are pushed out at the same time, so you got to keep checking, and eventually you'll get a good match.
You had mentioned one of the other things that's worth keeping in mind is, being persistent in the face of feeling unqualified. So how do you deal with that, looking at job descriptions and thinking it's not going to work for you? Sorry, could you... So you mentioned that inevitably there is that feeling that you may not be qualified for all the jobs that you're seeing. So how do you work through that?
Definitely, yeah. So my second piece of advice is, for a lot of you, your only work experience is in retail, customer service, things that are probably unrelated to what you're trying to apply for. So definitely I would say, once you're in that interview position, you're qualified enough for the job. So you have to relax, and if you're someone who likes to smile, show that smile. If they give you an avenue to talk about an extracurricular activity, do that. Show your personality, because in the end, they're looking for someone that they can work with closely for the next 4 months. So you want to show that you're an enjoyable person.
Perfect. And your last piece of advice surrounds research, both on companies and knowing the program. So what do you...
Right. So you're going to be told 24/7 up to finding your first job that you should always research, job descriptions, research who's coming at the job fairs, what to do at the job fairs. But I would say definitely put in the time to research your work-study program, and you'll find that you don't necessarily have to, you don't have to get a job on your first available work term. You can still graduate within the time that you want if you don't secure that. And yeah.
Okay. And since I added a few things on the fly here, and you've handled that pretty well, it was a test, by the way. Last question. What would you say you've gotten out of the co-op program so far?
I would say, coming into the co-op program, obviously, you have to have a certain amount of requirements so you feel good about it. But, coming out of the co-op program, what it really did was reveal my weaknesses as an individual. Once I started my work term, I got to see, with the kind of peers that I'm going to be working with and the type of people that they're looking to hire. And you really get to evaluate yourself, like where you need room for improvement. And other than that, it showed me that any kind of success has to come after a certain type of failure. And the reward is pretty good.
And one last thing, keep adding on. Just because you got the co-op job, does that mean you get to relax, or? Oh,
no, for sure. You got to keep going. I mean, the module is just to get you in a good habit, but once you secure that first one, the onus is on you to keep going and keep pushing for that next job.
Great. Thanks, Stephen.
No problem.
Okay. So the next piece of the presentation is some tips from all the coordinators about how you can also achieve success. So on behalf of myself and the coordinators team, we want to welcome you for being here. Having been admitted into university with the co-op option is no small feat. You'll notice that there are only about 300 students here and not 4,000 or 5,000, which is the class entering. Obviously, you've got some pretty high standards for yourselves. You already know what working hard is about, but you're also concerned about achieving career success. We've read numerous articles that indicate that a co-op student will actually be able to land a more prestigious job and a higher paying job than their peers that don't have participation in the program. So this is really your opportunity to become the class that's a step above everybody else. As a co-op coordinator, part of my role is to identify job opportunities in the city, of which there are numerous or many. One of the things that I can't do, however, based on the number of co-op students, is do some job development for you specifically. So I cannot find you your dream job. That means there is significant amount of work that needs to be done on your part, and quite a bit of time that you're going to have to put into this. So you've got a few terms, is what I'm trying to say, before you get into looking for your co-op work. But before you start getting to that stage, there are 3 tips that I want to share with you. The first, which was mentioned earlier by Cheryl, is keeping your grades up. So it is, again, vital that you know where you need to be academically to be able to stay in the program. So it will happen. First year is difficult, especially if you're not living at home anymore. So you need to stay on top of those classes, attending, and getting those good grades so that you are able to remain in the program. To know what you need, you would obviously check the undergraduate calendar to stay on top of that. My second tip is to build your experience. Some of you might feel like you don't have any experience to present to an employer. How you get around that is by taking part in societies or groups here on campus. It's by doing some volunteering. If you are a computer programmer, it's by doing some programming on the side, possibly building some games. If you're an architect, there is nothing stopping you from putting some designs together or some drawings and building a portfolio beforehand. So these are the things that are going to make you more marketable, will allow you to present some transferable skills. The third tip, as our student Stephen Wu has mentioned, is networking. It is intimidating even for adults, people who are in a professional career. And the experience that we have or have perceived or have seen is that the moment you share with someone at a networking event that you're a student, the barriers come down. They will see it as an opportunity for them to impart their knowledge upon you and to help you progress in your career. So there really is nothing to fear. So networking now, what can you do? Net Night is coming up. The city is full of networking events specific to your degree program. So it really is your chance to get started. So all of these tips are basically what we have to present to you at this point. You'll get even more as you learn to communicate with me further, come into my office, get some more tips from me. It's probably one of the best ways. Now, if you have any specific questions, I just want to mention to you that the coordinator team will be present after the event. We have some students here also who are co-op students that will be available to answer some of your questions. And the employer that I'm going to introduce in just a moment will also be present to field some of your questions. So feel free to stick around afterwards. So now if you would please join me in welcoming Tom Lukasevich, the Director of Recruiting in North America, or for North America, also a Carleton grad and a longtime supporter of Carleton University's co-op program. He would love to share with you why it's so important to hire co-op students.
Thanks, Elaine. Elaine was quite nervous about saying my last name, and you did a fine job. So good evening, everyone. This is actually quite neat for me. The hall we're in right now, Southern Hall, is where I attended, I should say, my first university lecture. So it's kind of neat to be back in this hall. It's interesting that not a lot has changed, but but that's nice and it's great. And I'm also sad to say that was about 24, 25 years ago. So I'm feeling a bit old here tonight, but just the same. Great to be back on the campus. I did take a nice walk before I got here, and obviously the campus has evolved, but you still feel a lot of that same atmosphere and culture that we had so much fun with years and years ago. And I couldn't believe Oliver's was still here, so that was nice to see. But I do want to start by congratulating all of you in this room. I mean, you've made an excellent step in starting your career already by being accepted in Carleton's co-op program. This program is extremely highly respected by the company I work for, Alcatel-Lucent, but not only that, it's respected by a lot of large companies, small companies in various markets and sectors in Ottawa and beyond. Alcatel-Lucent, we at Alcatel-Lucent actually target Carleton's co-op program. We've hired, this year alone, in 2012, we've hired close to 30 co-ops. We've offered 10 Carleton new graduates, and we've actually recently just made offers to 3 Carleton students who will be graduating in 2013. So, all that to say, we really like you guys. So we do value, we value our partnership with the school a great deal, but we also value our partnership with the co-op coordinating program here. It's been fantastic for us to work with, and I'd have to say much more so than other schools we've worked with in the past. So congrats to the coordinators here as well. So who am I and who is Alcatel-Lucent? Is anyone familiar with Alcatel-Lucent in the crowd? A couple, some maybe the engineers or comp sci's, right? So Alcatel-Lucent is a leader in IP, mobile, fixed, and optical technologies, and a pioneer in the applications and services space. And we're also home to Bell Labs. And for those of you that don't know what Bell Labs is, it's really probably the world's foremost center of innovation and technology for communication. And what does that mean? Okay, so I'm an HR guy, so I'm probably not the guy to explain what what all that means. You may be better at pointing to one of the engineering students, but I'll give you sort of the layman's version of it. So what we do is we design and develop technology for the service providers. So the Bells, the Teluses of the world, even Rogers, and they in turn use our technology to provide you data and voice services. So our technology allows you to download apps like Angry Birds, for example, within seconds. And the other thing is, if you happen to be somewhere with your tablet or your smartphone or even your laptop and you're looking for a nearby restaurant or pub, we provide the technology that allows that application to provide you that information, regardless of where you are in the world. So my job in all this is really making sure that we have the right talent to be successful. I'm the Director of Recruiting and HR Operations for Alcatel-Lucent North America. So one of my priorities, actually one of my key priorities, is ensuring that we have a strong pipeline of talent at all times, and that we also sustain the skills and knowledge necessary to keep our technology moving, what we call at the speed of ideas. And also to keep us in business, in the sense that we need business students as well to drive our business. We need to understand the financials and understand our marketing plan. Again, we value the partnership with Carleton and the Co-op program a great deal, and it's a fundamental development program for us. The intent, we partner with the Co-op program with the intent of providing really a rewarding experience for the student, in hopes that they'll actually consider working for us when they graduate. So we really look at it as almost a training program, a development program, in hopes of investing in some of these students and some of you, and actually being able to hire you full-time when you graduate. We weight co-op experience extremely heavily in our recruitment and selection process. And you can see that what's really rewarding for us, especially on the recruitment side, is the interview rooms are just outside our HR offices, and you wouldn't believe how excited our managers get when they interview a bright co-op and they just say, this person is it, you need to hire them right now. And so it's a lot of fun, and usually we have to make that happen or they complain. So, and we don't look for students just to come on board and do the jobs that nobody wants to do. So, you know, it's not the filing, it's not the paper pushing. We really look at our co-op resources as junior resources that are going to bring value, not only to our team, but to our organization and the campus here in Ottawa. So the co-ops are provided with mentors and given real responsibilities and deliverables. So for example, our technical co-ops, they actually work on next generation technology, whether it be support of it, testing of it, or even developing of it. And then we also have non-technical co-ops as well in the business domains. We've got co-ops in HR, we have co-ops in marketing, procurement, and finance as well. I've even had the luxury of having co-ops on my team, and it's just been a completely rewarding experience, and been really pleased with the contribution they've made. The last co-op I had on my team from Carleton was, his name was Chris. And he was actually with us for 3 terms, so a year, and we were just so pleased with what he brought to the team that we were able to get him a summer term this summer in marketing as well. So his role, just to give you an idea, Chris's role in our organization was actually to manage the entire co-op program for Alcatel-Lucent Canada, and that's a big job. So you have a young student or young co-op coming in, and it's basically like, here, you need to build the relationships with the universities, you need to build the relationships with the students, and you really need to brand and bring some life to our program. And well, Chris did a heck of a job with it. And the other thing we do beyond the mentorship within the program, and this is what a lot of our program coordinator does as well, is organize forums where the students can attend development sessions on our campus. So we've done manage and drive your career sessions with the co-ops. We often do this at lunch so the managers don't mind when we steal the co-ops away from their jobs. We do leadership success forums, and we also often bring down executives or leaders in our organization that happen to be at our campus and talk to the co-ops and tell them what it was that they did to start their career off and how they keep their career motivated, how they keep motivated in their career and continue to be successful. So Chris played a large role in all of that, organizing, working with the executives. So he built us a really good program because we were really starting to fall behind. I'm not going to put it all on Chris, but he played a huge role in it. And he really did revitalize our program, both internally and externally on the campuses. Ironically enough, we nominated him last year for Carleton Co-op of the Year for 2011, and he did win. So he's good at, but he knows it, for any of you who know. So the feedback we receive from co-ops, generally we always do feedback sessions with them and sometimes exit interviews, is really gaining the experience and the on-the-job development and training that you really don't get in a traditional class forum or setting. And I'm going to sound cliche here again, but as a huge piece of the experience for the co-ops, I can't emphasize enough is the networking, and I think you guys have heard that repeatedly tonight, but I can't tell you how important that is. I've had many jobs through my career, and I can't think of one that I did not get through networking. So, listen to Elaine and Stephen, and they really know what they're saying here. And through a co-op program, you build a network with a vast amount of people, a vast amount of professional people. So your managers, their peers, your colleagues, their peers, and other students. And those are the networks that will stay with you throughout your career and really open the door for a lot of opportunity. But our interest in the co-op program really goes beyond just the skill and work perspective as well. What we really like about having co-ops on campus is the new ideas that co-ops bring, both to our teams and our organization, but also the energy they bring to the campus. It's a lot of fun, when you see activities being held on campus, and a lot of students and younger people just really bringing some energy to the campus, which is great, and everyone loves it. So student programs for us, regardless of what our economic state is, obviously with the market, sometimes we're up. As being a technology company, sometimes we're down. Student programs always remains a priority for us, regardless. And we build that into our workforce planning exercises every year diligently on a global level. So we stick to it. So with that, I really hope everyone in the room really takes advantage of this opportunity of being in the co-op program. Find your areas of interest, find out know where you're going to be successful, and really make the best out of it. And really hoping over the next 4 years I get to see some of you walking the halls of Alcatel-Lucent.
Thank you very much, Todd. And if you want to take a look at Chris that Todd was talking about, Chris is on our website, and he did win Co-op Student of the Year at Carleton University, so he can get a little video, and if you want to take the time and find out what a co-op student did there. And I hope you took the interdisciplinary factor out of this, that Chris was a commerce student working in a high-tech sector. So like everyone else has said here, definitely be open to all sorts of ideas, and not to be overly choosy on your first work term choosing. And when you're looking for them, just think the sky's the limit, because you could be a business student or you could be a finance student working for a high-tech company. So those are some things that you can take away. And thank you, Todd, for sharing that. It's always nice to hear how our students are playing such a great role in the workforce today. So thanks very much. On the slide that we're going to show you next, you'll notice our contact information, and you can contact us anytime. We're just an email, a phone call, or even a tweet away. Myself and Robin, who is our event coordinator extraordinaire, we are always tweeting all day long, and we're hire Carleton_U, so you can keep on top of co-op news. And we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/CarletonU Career, and we are always posting jobs. So whenever Alcatel-Lucent has made the call out, or any kind of major employer, whether it's a startup or a large organization that you've always been interested in, we usually put out some job alerts there. So we hope that you will contact us whichever way that you choose. And you also heard a lot of our staff and our students talk about Net Night. And if you want to add that on your tablet or your laptop or into your calendar, it's November the 1st. and it is here on campus, and it is from 6 to 8 p.m. And we encouraged first-year students to come on out and give it a try and see what networking is all about, so that by the time you're ready to look for your co-op work term, you're a networking pro. So that's November the 1st. I'd also remind you about the Fall Career Fair that's coming up on October 2nd and 3rd, and that always takes place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the University Center Galleria, which is on the 4th floor. And a lot of the employers that are coming are interested in co-op students. It might not be your time to go out on a co-op work term, but it's certainly a great opportunity to network with employers and find out what it is they're looking for so that you can gain the right experience between now and the time that you go out on your first work term. So that's October 2nd and 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the University Center Galleria.